Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with Campaign 2, Episode 34, Part 2. Last we saw, here's the thumbnail. I feel so bad because I feel like not even a minute, not even like 60 seconds after I stopped Part 1, I jumped into the Patreon hour, and immediately almost, we stopped talking to Captain Adela. That's right? Adela? I think it's Captain Adela. We stopped talking to her immediately after I jumped back in. And I'm like, oh, if I'd known that, I would have just stopped there. It still wouldn't have mattered. Had I let Captain Adela finish, I would have assumed let's stop there before something new starts. I didn't know Ashley Johnson was going to immediately jump in to the scene from there. Had I known, I would have waited. I would have shown it all in the part 1 of YouTube so everyone could see it. It's on the Patreon Hour exclusive now. No way I could have known that. I even went about 5 to 10 minutes over in part 1, so don't feel too bad because I already shouldn't even have been that far in. But I just feel like the timing was almost like, had I just dropped the ball for another 60 seconds and not seen the time, we would have got Ashley Johnson. I could have ended it on that. We would have jumped into the hour Patreon. But then part 2 would have not existed because all we have left is about 15, 20 minutes. So if I had gone that far, I mean, it wouldn't have been a big deal. We would have just had a really short part 2. But there's no way I could have known. You guys were trying to help me by telling me, don't look at the thumbnail and don't have it ruined. But like I said, I was like, maybe she isn't. Well, first off, I didn't know it was Ashley Johnson. I thought it was either her or a guest. I was kind of 50-50 on it, but I figured if it's in a thumbnail, I don't recall yet seeing a guest in the thumbnail. Not like this, at least. We've had these thumbnails for a while, and it's always our Critical Role crew, Ashley Johnson being part of that. I could be wrong. There could have been one with, I can't remember the name of the friend, but it was Callie, Matt's friend that played Callie, the guy, Matt Humes. It might have been Mark Humes, Matt Humes, something like that. He might have been in one, but I don't think so. I think no one has ever been in a thumbnail. So as soon as people were like, watch the thumbnail, I'm like, ooh, is that Ashley Johnson? But to tell you the truth, by the time we finished part 1, we were already 30, 40 minutes in. I kind of didn't even think about it or remember any of that. Then when I started the Patreon hour, I'm like, oh yeah, we still have like a seat next to towels in, it looks like, and I'm still not supposed to pay attention to the thumbnail. And then I was like, okay, I got to pay attention to that, be aware of that. Boom, Ashley Johnson. Anyway, in the Patreon hour, we get Bo being amazing. Tracy acting like a flirty, ditzy girl, so to speak, worked great. I was almost going to say, let's give it up. This guy doesn't seem interested, to the point where I was like, maybe he doesn't swing that way. Maybe he's not into women. Because Tracy's laying it on thick. She's seeming like she's doing everything right. And he is totally dead. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he just opens up like a book. Like, hey, I get off in 40 minutes. What do you want to do? You want to go here? You want to go there? And Bo is just like, oh my God, I need to take a shower. Blows him a kiss and tells him where we're staying. Said, we're at the lavish chateau. Now you could say, well, big deal. Because he could go there. It's not like he could like force us to do anything, but I feel like we shouldn't have given him, based on the fact she lied about her name and we were trying to get information out of him. I feel like if there was any mistake, I don't think it'll be a problem. I just assume, and honestly, it's for comic relief, and I think it's only going to be a benefit that he's going to show up again. He is going to show up again. His name was Merpal, Merpol, I think it was, Merpal. Amazing. I want him to show back up because I don't think he'll be a problem. I think if anything, it'll be like an interesting little comic relief between Tracy and him. Then we also got Ollie the turtle. We did most of that in part 1. We talked more with Adela in the Patreon hour. Not jumped on a table, acted like a bunch of goblins were surrounding us. No one took it seriously. And we find out where the underground tunnel is. We sent Frumpkin around a little bit. We're going to attempt to break the grate, and that's where we're at. I'm jumping in. You guys want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Steven Universe, Infinity Train, My Little Pony, Gen 5, the Patreon hours for this. dozens of other shows. I kid you not. Check it out. If not, jump it in. Campaign 2, episode 34, part 2. Holy crap, I talked for a long time. We're almost into 6
wrap over
minutes.
the shoulders and underneath.
Hold on to Spree. I can't do it.
Octo
I'm afraid
backpack.
you're going to
We got
eat
it.
my weasel.
Frumpkins and
No,
octopus.
I had a lot of
made a
seagulls
backpack.
yesterday for dinner. I'm very full
You
still.
promise me you won't eat him?
That really sounds like a euphemism.
You better not eat Frumpkin. I don't
will
think.
not eat your weasel.
Oh, we're talking the weasel.
Damn puppy.
Yeah, the puppy's in the boat, like,
Don't.
I
eat
can
the
see him
puppy
eating the
either.
weasel. Or her.
Promise.
Too bony.
Promise.
Too bony.
I don't know what it is today.
Promise.
I have made the mistake of calling not he 500 times today. I don't know what it is. I'm only seeing Sam Riegel. I apologize if I say it wrong.
You promise.
I promise I will not eat your weasel today.
Today. You better hope it's almost
Bo's
midnight.
holding on to a lead line.
Let's go.
Big breath.
Look at him eyeing it up. Her.
all right, the three of you dive down. Which one of you has the
Here's-
lead line? Me. Who's has the other end of it?
I
All
hope
right.
it's a joke
So Ford has it.
because I won't
all
eat
right,
it
so you
today.
guys all dive down,
It's almost
taking a
after
breath,
midnight. It's
kind
like
of
a
pushing
mogwai.
through the seaweed until eventually you come to the base of where that tube is. A short, like a few feet into it, you see the grate, and it's one of those things where it's about roughly 4.5, 5 foot in diameter. So you kind of have to crouch down, but you can get
Not.
a
It's
hold
scaring
on
me.
this.
It's not going to eat the
A
ferret.
hand on
And say I
it
said
and,
not
like,
today.
brace our feet against the tunnel, and like on the count of.
On the count of kick.
All right. So one of you roll with advantage, or you can both roll independently. What do you want to
That
do?
was a practice count. What is it? Do you want to roll?
You said roll with advantage or roll independently?
Let's roll
On the count
independently.
of
It's
kick.
So, yeah.
Kick.
This is a strength check?
I can't
Well,
get it out of my head
rolling.
now.
I
I gotta
grab
see
my
Robin
shoulder
Hood
and turn on the
after
Jacques
this.
Cousteau camera on Yasha's back.
Oh.
20.
Natural?
20.
Now the
Natural?
natural's 20.
Oh.
Right, but 20 total.
We still have not
That's
seen
the
a
DC
natural
you needed.
20 in at least 1.5
So yeah,
episodes.
as you both are holding onto this and pulling, you get your foot locked into some of
That's still a
the
solid
imperfect
roll.
stonework where elements of the
Natural or
masonry
not,
kind of pokes out, which gives you a
obviously.
foot groove, and one part where some of the stone had been kind of rotted away, and that's just enough of a point to lock yourself in, and as you pull, you feel. And then eventually, it comes out of its mooring in the wall, and then kind of slides off at the side, and you rotate it a bit, and kind of comes to rest in the middle of it.
The coolest.
So we know we could do it now.
Oh.
We
So you
still
guys
got
go ahead and
more.
come out
There's
to
still
this-
more though, so she's gonna have to do
Onto
that
it
a couple
again.
times.
Did not think that was going to work.
I didn't either.
I didn't think it was gonna work either,
At
honestly.
least one of them.
I thought it was gonna take
That's really
multiple people and,
Okay, here's my other question,
several
though.
attempts.
18.
Can we hold our breath that long?
Did it seem like it was hard to hold our breath while we were doing all of that?
Well, you guys all have pretty high constitutions, so not really.
Yeah.
Should we try the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it works out, just so you guys know, your constitution modifier is how many minutes you can hold your breath underwater.
What? Really?
Yeah.
David Blaine up in this bitch.
Yeah, I'm
I want to know what they have.
That's cool.
That's awesome, but what are their constitution
So make a
modifiers?
summer home under the water.
My constitution must be mine's 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my swim speed is my regular speed.
Yeah, he gets
Our
regular
swim speed is
constitution.
Actually, I think it's 1 plus
18.
your constitution modifier, so it's even one more.
Oh, we're set.
So Ford could breathe 19 minutes.
Go to
Everybody.
the second one and break
Ford
through
could
it. Okay, so
breathe
this
for
time
19
I'll be more
minutes.
specific. I'll go, and then
All right,
pull
I
it.
like that they're showing
And
us.
we're pulling down.
We'll get it
down
just
right
Those
after
17
Yeah,
minutes.
1, 2, 3, pull
So
on
you
more.
guys are gonna go
Okay.
down and then come back up
That
again,
makes
and then we'll all
things
go.
way
I'm
different.
staying
I'm
at the
thinking
mouth
we
with the other
breathe
end of
like
the rope.
regular
You guys
people.
are going
Like
in.
Hopefully the rope
5
can
to 6 minutes
go
is
this
considered
far. How long is this rope?
amazingly good for a human. Caleb even does
The rope
15
you found here,
minutes.
it's maybe probably 60 to 70 feet
I can
most.
tie it up to something at the front of the, at the
That's a
mouth of the
long
tunnel.
Tie it
ass
off to the
time.
mouth
They can
of the
just
grate.
they can just come up it. Yep.
So Caleb,
All right, so you go ahead and do that.
oh,
You
not
guys all
the
jump back in a
lowest. I was
second
gonna say
time?
Caleb
Yeah.
might be the lowest. Not is the
Dive back down
lowest
below,
at 14
pushing through the
plus
darker
1.
depths of the bay,
And
eventually
not could
finding yourself
breathe
back to the
3 times
back to the
longer
tunnel
than
where
a-
the
like a
the grate has
professional
been shifted to
human
the
diver.
sides. Now you have at an angle, and you can swim over or under it. You guys kind of pincer off,
I mean,
taking
hey,
2 different directions,
I don't
and then
know.
meeting on the opposite side. You go a few more lengths before the tunnel shifts upward.
Now we got the grate.
You both have dark vision, if I recall, right? Yeah, so you're able to see here because there's no light source in the water.
So
beyond
everyone
just the
is
distant
between
glow
a
and shifting
14
of the sunlight through the water.
and 17.
You make your way back up, and
So far, 14
you
and
find
17
you find
is
the grate above you.
area.
This
What's
area,
Yasha?
the footholds aren't as easy because it's not quite as close to the
Yasha
the
and Not are the
elements.
lowest for Constitution.
So the DC is a little higher, but if you guys grab a hold, you can go ahead and make a check.
Hi. Come on, you guys.
But what if we have a lot of people? No way.
Natural 20.
The first one in almost 2 episodes.
Oh, well.
All right. So with your modifier
Almost
is
2
a
full episodes.
23.
No natural 20s.
23. Okay. So as you both hold on this time, you're having a hard time getting any sort of a foothold
What a
into
time to
space.
get it.
Jester, you angrily look down and taking your elbow, kind of jam a section of the stone until it breaks off, and you find a section there. You kind of noticing this, Yasha. You do the same and smash. You guys actually break a few footholds into the sides of this tunnel. Once you're set into place, you look at each other, count the right moment, and pull. And I mean,
Rosie the
You've seen
Riveter.
Jester do some cool stuff, but in that moment, it's a Rosie Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter. There is a
muscle
place
moment as
near me
guns going.
that has Rosie
metal
the
bars
Riveter
bend
on the
slightly.
sign, and it's like a
Underneath the
bar,
water, you
like a
echo, and then
biker kind of bar.
It comes loose.
Not
from
like
the
a
mooring,
legit
and
biker
it comes
bar, but like
sinking down towards both of you.
kinda
The
rowdy.
metal is now like sandwiching you guys towards the bottom, and you kind of push off and manage to get it to rotate. And you swim around it without hitting the issue.
Beautiful.
You guys make it to the surface.
What a time to
You're now
pull that
inside the
off.
tunnel.
We're in the room now with the pillar soon.
So are you. Man, we're like a
Underwater
strong
time. The Mighty Nine has an
couple of
underwater
women.
time of at least 3 minutes. They work out.
Okay, let's see what is out here.
We're like a
So
This is exactly
since I saw them go up, I'm gonna swim forward to where I saw them disappear, and seeing the gray gone, I'm gonna come back out and make my way up towards the boat to let them know they made it.
Okay, you guys watch as Ford breaks the surface without the other two.
Hey, alive!
Yeah, they made it through the second grade.
Ford
Just
is
like
the
I told
highest
you,
of
they made it
everybody.
through the second grade.
Oh, because you can see.
Oh, why am I even coming back?
I dive in and follow.
All right.
Leaving a boat here? Is that the?
Oh, that'll totally.
No, don't worry. I'll take it back to the shore.
Well, the
for
bottom
us
rope
and
is
stow
tied
it.
to the bottom, so if you tie the rope to the boat, you got yourself an anchor or a moor.
You guys want to try and meet us where that pillar is?
Sure, I'll go to the warehouse and try to break in.
Oh no.
No.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah,
I think it's a
we're
better
doing
idea
this so
for us
we
to stay
don't draw
together. No,
attention.
this is a recurring thing, and I think we should. What is going on? What is this?
I don't like water.
Yeah, but what if we need to go through water?
Mostly we don't. We don't live near the ocean.
Mostly, but right now we need to.
Unconscious, okay.
It's not. I don't.
Let me make a suggestion. And I cast suggestion.
Oh. Break through that shit.
Better than what I was gonna do.
I think you should just try it one time and see how it goes. And if it goes well, then you know that you are good for the future.
Try it. You might like it.
In this
You to make
case,
a wisdom saving throw.
this
not
is one of the few circumstances where I'm kind of okay with you using magic on your friends. Because in this case,
Your
it's
fear
almost like
subsides momentarily, and
a
you find yourself
smoker,
instinctually
like
nodding.
telling
as,
a
you know
smoker
what? Maybe,
he doesn't want to smoke anymore.
maybe trying it once and seeing how it goes is exactly what Caleb would want.
Yes.
Yes, well,
It's like he's
You know
trying
best,
to
Caleb.
break his friend's fear of
all right.
water.
This sounds like a good idea.
So I feel like it's,
You want a dolphin ride my back?
okay.
Sure. Are you a good swimmer?
Yeah, I'm alright.
All right.
I mean, I might not be 4 levels, but yeah, I can swim.
And all she does is eat fish and do push-ups. I think she'd be good underwater.
Take a big swig of whiskey and climb on Bo's back. All right, dolphin lady, ride me. Sorry.
The other.
It's the boot.
Wait,
All right, dolphin lady,
Yeah,
ride me. I love it.
I wait. Deuces, you coming in?
Oh yeah.
The cat just
All
kicked
right,
open the
mermaid, scale me down.
Yep, whiskey's working. Ready? We're gonna do this together. Ready, boy?
I'm listening, guys.
1, 2,
The cat was
3,
attacking
and we
me.
go.
All right.
Dolphin
Going underwater,
lady
you hear
ride
the-
me. What?
The diminishing
Oh my
squeak
god.
as it slowly vanishes beneath the surface. Caduceus and Caleb sitting up in the ship with
His
a
face is getting so red.
with a weasel and a puppy.
Oh yeah,
I'm holding the weasel! I'm holding the weasel!
Oh, that's right.
We gotta get rid of him.
He was holding it though, or she.
Let it happen.
So as Bo swims, now Bo, go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Are we gonna kill the
You
weasel?
are technically carrying 2 passengers.
The weasel's about to die.
The weasel's gonna die. I think they're right. I thought the same thing. I don't know if the weasel's not gonna hold its breath.
That's a little cocked. It's really.
It's
That's a little cocked. That's a little cocked.
Technically, it's
Yeah,
slightly
that
cocked.
counts.
Counts.
It is cocked.
It's a good roll though.
Cocked as fuck.
No, you can
It's
if you
still
can rest the D4 on it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
It's an okay roll. 21.
21, yeah. Strongly pushing through, using the grate to go
If
ahead
you
and
could
pull
rest
yourself
a
forward
D4 on
beneath
it,
the
it's
surface.
not cocked,
You
is
bring
that
your
what you
goggles
said?
down so you can actually see where you're going once the light begins to subside. This you're still here in the water above you.
I totally forgot about the weasel, by the
Echoing.
way.
Oh, you don't even know.
I
you don't know
did
nothing about it.
too.
You're
They
just like,
literally just talked about it, and I
Upward,
totally forgot
strike the
already.
surface. Come up from the
They have a
top.
constitution of
there
8,
you can
so-
see Yasha and Jester waiting for you. They're kind of stepped up into the tube.
You made it.
Constitution of 8, so a modifier of negative
You hear?
1, which gives it
You
0.
look down as this waterlogged weasel is now like coughing and sneezing. It's awake and conscious.
It's not dead.
pushing on its
We,
chest.
it's not dead. I honestly thought we might lose it.
So this is a bit of a problem because nobody thought of the dog, and that is why I knew it was a bad decision to purchase it in the first place. Because now we're stuck with the dog. So what do we do, Caduceus? What do you
Can we
think?
get the dog to blink to us?
No, don't.
See,
do
Nugget,
that.
here's the
dog will
situation.
die.
Everybody else is going into this thing in the tunnel. I don't know if you want to go into the water, if you want to just hang out here and hope that everything goes okay, or if you've got a preference. But I'll tell you what, you can hop on with me if you want to go with us on this adventure. If you'd rather just sit here, I'll leave you a little food, and we'll probably be back in a couple hours.
You're speaking in Sylvan, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Of course, we're speaking
Yeah, I'm
Sylvan.
listening in Sylvan.
So you just want to hang, I guess.
Just sitting in the boat. Looks over the edge.
Not liking it.
You want to come with me?
Make a persuasion check.
I think the
Actually,
dog
that's
is
my
saying no.
Animal handling.
I think the dog is saying no.
20. I'm sorry, not 20, 18.
18. You find a small, in your robes, there's a
hold
comfortable
their
little
breath 2
cradle that
minutes.
you kind of form there, and kind
Okay, so
Oh god.
hold your breath and
and then appears into the small pocket in your arm.
I
hold
don't.
your breath on the count of 3.
Hold your breath. We got 2 minutes of breathing for the blank dog.
Sylvan, Caleb says, if it goes wrong, Pop, bamf out and in, and maybe that will buy you a little more time.
Oh, you'll be fine. We'll just give you a little. I can just give you a little tap.
If you blink during your breath holding, do you lose your breath? I think you would, but
I'm going to slow
hold
my
it as long as you can and
I'm
blink.
going to take one last look around to see if anyone notices any of the commotion that we're causing.
Perception check.
Perception
I
check.
really should have left the puppy with my mom.
Yeah, my perception check was bad for me, which is a 11.
11. Looking around, no one in particular seems to be paying much mind to what your business is.
I've slowed my breathing, I've calmed myself, and I'm just going to take a very gentle dive and move
And
at
we
a very
tied the boat.
clear speed.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
yeah, we
am
tied the
like-
boat on.
I mean, if we
I will
didn't
ask
lose
you to make an
the
athletics check,
ferret
'cause you
or
are
the
swimming
weasel.
mostly with one arm in your legs, as you are cradling the puppy with the.
During talks, they said ferret. I was like, why did I hear ferret?
That one's not so good. That's a 3.
You make your way partway through the tunnel and under the grate. Get past that point, look up, you
God.
push off.
Is the dog
You're tired.
dead?
Your lungs are starting to hurt from just the amount of effort it's taking to go this distance with one arm and your legs kicking. You're not You've waded in the ponds near the graveyard, but you're not a practiced swimmer.
Taliesin looks concerned that he might have killed the
it
dog.
around.
I can thankfully hold my breath a long time.
But not the dog.
Puppy though.
The puppy is having. Once I'm getting a little. If I start to, am I feeling a twitch or is it having a?
Not yet. No. Make another athletics check for the second.
Not yet,
journey.
but it's very close.
Rigor mortis.
Oh, that's better. 18.
That's rigor mortis.
Okay.
setting, yeah.
Yeah, you get down low to the bottom of it and then push upward. Right at that moment, you see this little burst of bubble in your arm, just as you're about to break the surface, and you look down, frightened, and he's not there. And as you look up, break the surface, come up, and you watch us in the air.
Did you catch him? Catch him.
You catch Nugget.
Catch a nugget.
And just waterlogged, dripping.
You brought the dog?
Yay, Nugget!
Wanted to come.
Holy shit.
You were
dog
named
and
after
weasel
the
survived.
dog.
100
That's what
foot
that reminded
swim
me of.
underwater.
You were named after the dog.
Are we all here, Caleb?
The
Are
weasel
you
looks
here?
miserable. Sprinkle is just like,
I can't even believe Sprinkle's alive.
and like curls up in there.
Where's Caleb?
Yeah, I'm here. I would have beat Caduceus here because
See,
he
what
was
I'm
so
getting
struggling.
confused
I'm
by
so
is
proud
Matt
of
said
you.
it's
You
Constitution
made it all
plus
this
one.
way. I had a feeling
The weasel had
overcome me
Constitution
that just
of
I was
8.
I was so I was
Why? I don't
I've
know.
never done
It said
anything like
0
that
minutes
before.
for the
Do you know
weasel,
what the
but
good
2
news
for the
is?
dog.
You're
I
going
feel
to
like
have that
something was
feeling for
wrong in
like
the
7 hours
side
and 50
stuff. 'Cause
minutes.
it's been wrong before.
It's not real, is it?
Make an insight check.
Make an insight check. Do it.
I'll just start drinking.
Just start drinking. We have made
All right, so you're all kind of
not to
clustered
an
up in
algae.
this small tunnel. It's
Well, I don't think we
maybe
made her into an
8
algae.
foot across, and it's cylindrical in its shape. So about a foot and a half of water, depending on where you're standing in it, and it continues down dark into the next chamber.
The water comes in while we're in here.
That would
That'll
be
end
bad.
really
We should
poorly.
probably hurry up then, huh?
Yeah.
Also, there is a small grate just down here.
Yes, the small grate.
Franken was not able to get through it, but maybe one of you two ladies could bust that open.
We can try.
Yeah.
But
only
we'll,
about a
well,
foot and a half
Frumpkin could
across.
go in it.
It's
Yeah,
right
down.
over
Okay.
there.
But like.
I was gonna say none of us could probably fit in
have
it, but
quiet.
Frumpkin could. We could find out what it leads to.
But then what?
The Frumpkin.
Octopus.
Frumpkin.
Do you point out the grate to them?
No.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did, yeah.
All right,
You
cool.
could probably
Yeah, let
still do
Frumpkin.
that.
So as you guys
See,
move,
Bo was thinking
moved,
what I was
through the
thinking,
tunnel
but
into like the
Frumpkin
next,
could get in.
the small.
We could at least
chamber
know where it
break in the
goes. If it
tunnel
goes
path there
nowhere
with the pillar.
important, we don't have to worry about
Caleb
it.
points over to the grate.
If
You can
it's
see
somewhere
it's a
important,
pretty
we'll find a way.
dense lattice of metal.
Can we get our fingers in?
Yeah, you can get your fingers in. There's enough space there to get your fingers in
it.
more. There may be about each bar is about 2 inches apart from each other.
Thunder
Let's
Queens.
try it.
Thunder
We
Queens.
try to bust it out.
Sure, go ahead and make another strength check. The beast team here.
9.
9.
12.
Ooh, ain't breaking it.
You get the sense. Well, first off, your fingers are sore, and your arms are strained from the 2 previous excerpts that you've given, and you've done impressive things. But you get the sense that this is probably because it's smaller. It's wedged in a little.
I thought the
little
same thing.
Tighter into a
Less
small tunnel. The
area
actual
to
tunnel
work
there is maybe
with
about
makes
a
it
foot
stronger.
Across, a foot and a half across.
You have more leverage with a
most of you
10
not even
foot
fit
as
through it.
opposed to a 1.5,
You're
2
unable to get it to
foot.
budge at all.
Can we see through it at all? Like what's in there?
Make a perception check.
As they're looking, I'll just creep.
I
towards the
like that
pillar
it's
and
realistic
cautiously
because
peek
I was
around.
gonna say the smaller
it's a
one should be
fancy
hard, but I
room,
didn't
or is
like
this
think
just
it'd
more of a-
be acknowledged.
Looking around, it resembles a subterranean sewer, and the fact that it's mostly just stone and masonry that's kind of slick from the moisture. And the air itself is very humid down here. There is a lot of moisture that gathers across the stone. There's streaks of color and minerals that have kind of gathered in the walls over time. You still have tasting the brine in your mouth from your time under the ocean, but the air in here is still also very ocean-like and salty.
Does it seem like water is ever up along the walls, or does it seem like the water is always like
Like,
at the
does the
level?
water
it's-
rise? I like that. That's a good
she
one.
does, like,
If the
I-
walls are wet, then the water rises.
Weird, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
It could just. It could be
can see if
moisture
there
or,
are any
or
writings
I
on
just
those.
feel like you know the difference.
18. Looking at it, there are certain markers in the levels that say that there have at times been different levels of water in here, but it doesn't seem
Not recently.
often enough. Like certain levels of minerals and sediment.
Over
you can see.
time.
but a lot of them seem older and haven't been reached in a while.
Okay, I think we're safe.
You're looking for writing. You don't
that's
see any
good.
writing.
No type of directional marks, any type of, like, using my background, any type of
Make a perception
thieves'
check.
cant
Make
for
perception check.
smuggling.
Also a good question.
Fuck you,
I
dude.
dig the water
Good
question.
today.
He basically
in the past,
confirmed
or not
the
tonight,
water
apparently.
level
Is it
hasn't really
perception?
changed anytime soon.
20 total.
Okay.
20 total.
Looking around, you don't see any markings in the stonework.
20 total.
But as you go across the pillar in the center, looking for any sort of details, you hear kind of this faint, almost like a sound of a crashing wave, and like a rushing of water.
Oh.
And you glance around the edge, and in the corner, you can see the water that previously was just kind of moving from your breaking the surface, moving through, is starting to kind of almost like it's forming a small, occasional whirlpool, and then comes to rest for a moment, and then
Hey, Ford,
Yeah.
is it about time for high tide?
Is it? No.
no.
That would have passed by now 'cause it's past midday, right?
Yeah.
While they're discussing, I point at Frumpkin on Yasha's back and snap him out, and then submerge myself by that small grate and look and keep my hand above the water and snap again, and Frumpkin is past the gate on the other side of it.
Okay. Frumpkin is the tunnel.
The small grate that we couldn't get open, so he's on the
okay.
other
So
side.
Frumpkin has appeared on the other side. While this is happening, you watch as the small whirlpool kind of begins to gather up and rise above the surface in what is a roughly basketball-sized swirl of water.
Are we
like an
being
endless
attacked?
Whirlpool that's
Really feel like this is like something, and it might
Yeah.
attack us, and it might
I
kill
think
us.
something's
like,
about
I
to
don't know,
attack us.
maybe, Yeah.
a second one
Mighty
begins
Nine.
to emerge from the water behind you.
99.
Spears.
They're essentially looking at reverse whirlpools that are rising up out of the water, coming to a point as the water seems to be.
They're not the
kind of
fish people
almost
again, are
guiding
they?
itself.
Are they Morrow again?
I'm gonna
Wide
take
at the
two of
bottom,
my
thin at the top.
Were they
shurikens
Morrow?
and
I don't think it is,
into one
but
and see what happens.
Water.
Okay.
Whirlpools.
Roll for attack.
From Kentucky, it's shuriken.
Roll
Shuriken.
for an attack.
Shuriken.
For two, both of them.
Yep.
Shuriken.
That first one's an 18, so 25, and the second one is 15.
15. Okay. Both of them hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah, I think this is like a thing.
Yeah.
Like a thing to kill.
Well, before he even says that, roll some damage. 'Cause
Yeah,
this
I'm
is not
not.
happening very quickly.
Yeah.
12. 13 total. 13.
Quick, let me check one thing real fast.
I am very curious to see what this is. Why do I feel like it's not? I don't know. Because if it wasn't something bad, Matt's being secretive right now. It could be anything.
No. Okay. So good to know. So was it? It was 9 and
13 total.
13 total? Okay, got you. You watch as both enter the water, and it seems to react, pull back, and a spray of water hits the wall behind it. You watch as it quivers, and then suddenly you see these two large pseudopods of water sort of emerge from it, and you see for a moment almost this angry face kind of in the water towards you, as both of them begin to rush in towards you in the center
Angry
of the chamber.
water! Mad water!
We're gonna go ahead and take a break
Angry.
there.
No.
And we're gonna start with rolling
Angry
initiative when we
water.
return.
What?
So for our giveaway at the break, to remind you guys, we've had to make some changes. So you need to enter in the Critical Role Twitch chat. So
I
if you
can't
jump
believe
over
it
to
ended on that. I mean, I knew it was coming,
twitch.tv/criticalrole
but I kind
to
of
join the chat
got
there
sucked
to be
into
part
it
of
and
this
forgot
giveaway.
it was ending soon.
It's only good for residents in the U.S.
What
and
are they?
Canada,
We didn't
excluding
get-
Quebec, because of weird giveaway laws. But however, you
They
do
didn't
get
seem
the
to know what it
possibility
was
of
either.
winning
Usually they'll be like,
this
"Oh, it's this," or they'll have an
fantastic
idea.
Purple
They
Heart
didn't
Dice
seem to
Tower
know except for
system,
man,
including
water,
the
angry.
Osman Coast Cartography by Devin Rue.
Why do we keep getting amazing Purple Heart wood?
So cool.
They're teasing me.
This
They're
is
teasing
the one you
me.
had last campaign.
I'm not
Yeah, but
kidding
not with
you.
the map on it.
It's
That's
genius of
amazing.
them to show it off
Fantastic.
because
With a
I
new
see it so
field
often. I
yeah, so
almost
the word tonight
just want to
is
bite the
Ruby,
bullet and buy it
R-U-B-Y.
because I've seen it so many times.
Only enter it once or you will be disqualified, but go ahead and jump over it.
Do they still do Wormwood
Have the winner
giveaways in
announced
Campaign
here
3?
in a few minutes.
I'm sure I've
See you
asked you
guys here in a
guys,
minute.
but I'm curious. All right, guys, so there we go with the rest of Campaign 2 until we get the live stream. That was Part 2, Episode 34, Encroaching Waters. I just read it for the second time. I read it for the first time in part 1. I didn't think much about it till I just looked at it now. And Encroaching Waters. Now, granted, we're involved with water pretty much the entire episode. But now, right at the last minute, we are having whirlpools form. We are having what I'm guessing is creatures running at us. Matt said, we see a face that's like, in the water. And then it was rushing towards us, or rushing multiple things. I think it was 2 rushing towards Bo or us or each other. I don't know. But we attacked it and it looked vicious. So even if we maybe should have waited before we attacked, I don't blame Bo. You start forming whirlpools and things look dangerous. I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt when I'm underground and we're basically trespassing in a place we shouldn't be. I'm assuming if whirlpools are forming in numbers, it isn't like some guy that just randomly came upon us. And if it is, sorry, but we're not willing to take the risk. Frumpkin appeared behind the little small grate, and I'm thinking, genius. I didn't even think of that. He can make him appear. The Blink Dog could have probably done the same, but the Blink Dog can't breathe as well and isn't as controllable nearly as Frumpkin. Like, Liam could see through the eyes and everything like that. But now we're engaged in battle. So now Frumpkin is behind that grate. Caleb is going to have to snap his fingers and get him back inside with us, or he might drown. Unless Caleb's like, go up and see where it goes, and maybe it'll be like somewhere where Frumpkin can chill out of danger. I don't know what we're dealing with right now. Whirlwind pools are forming. I am under the impression it's one of those type of creatures or something where anywhere where there is water involved, they could travel to, so to speak. At first I thought it was the Marrow or the Marrow. I think it's the Marrow. But Marrow? Maybe it is the Marrow. Either way, it doesn't seem to be them. They were like fish people with tridents. This seems like something else. I don't even know if it's possible it's just a security measure put in line. Like, maybe it's not even real things. Maybe it's some sort of security thing. When you go underground, these things will pop up like almost like an alarm, or I don't know. What's scaring me is every major boss or foe we've encountered at this point, almost everyone, if not everyone, one of them has been like, oh, it's an owlbear, or oh, it's a troll, or oh, it's a giant, a hill giant, this giant, or that giant. They always have some sort of idea or have heard of it. The fact that Matt described it as whirlpools and a face coming out, rah, 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 and none of them seem to have a clue. I've got to go back and check, but I don't think any of them had a clue. Maybe I'm wrong. It scares me that they don't know, because that means it could be anything. But now it's attacking us. My guess is we're going to go into immediate battle map mode, and the whole live stream, or at least a good portion of it, might be battling. We also have Yasha on our team now, so it's awesome that we got Yasha back, and we have a 7th member. We might spend the entire live stream fighting these things and continuing through this underground maze of tunnels to get inside this tower. We also have the pillar that they said might be connected to the building outside, but now everyone's inside, so that doesn't matter. That's not relevant. I don't think we should have done anything with it anyway. Amazing things are happening right now. All the accents Matt did in the Patreon hour exclusive with the people in the bar. Orly, the turtle, might be my favorite Matt Mercer voice ever. And all of them were saying, I hope he lives forever. I hope we see Orly again. If we do, it's probably not going to be many times or often. He's up there right now with Pumat Sol and one of the dwarf guys. I can't remember his name, but there was like a dwarf guy that was crazy. I think it was Rusa's father or grandfather. I feel like he's the one that was up there in my ranks as good voices, great voices. I don't know. I'm going on a rant. I can't wait for the live stream. I'm digging everything going on. I said in the episode, Bo is aces this episode with her flirtiness and everything. I gotta say, of all the people, even though I love them all, right now, Caduceus and Bo in this episode are doing all the wheeling, dealing, talking, and negotiating, and it all seems to be working. I feel like we have rolled really bad, but we had 2 or 3 great rolls when it counted most, and it made Yasha and Jester rip the shit out of that grate. They broke into the stone to make footholds and ripped that shit out. Amazing. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons edited, what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me, dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the Patreon Hour exclusive, Steven Universe, Stargate, Battlestar, Infinity Train, My Little Pony, Generation 5. So many shows, dozens of others. Check it out. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.